Hey everyone, welcome to Charles Sage, and this week we're talking about the OpenRun Mini by Shokz. With its ability to produce high quality sound in a small sleek design, these bone conduction headphones have quickly become my go-to. But these weren't my first experience with bone conduction headphones. In fact, one of my very first videos was a review of the Sport Titaniums, built by the same company which back then was called Aftershokz. But updating their name was just the beginning. These guys have been in the game for quite some time, and they're constantly improving their technology and putting out some awesome products. But before I start geeking out, let's go over the specs. The OpenRun Mini comes with their 8th generation bone conduction technology. At 25 grams, the Mini is 1 gram lighter and 21 millimeters shorter than the standard option. The full wraparound titanium frame is coated with a synthetic rubber-like material, making it smooth while still providing some grip. There are no speaker cutouts on the headset, but there are 2 small openings for the noise-canceling microphones. On the left, you have a multifunctional button to answer calls, stop and play music, and advance or go back 1 track. On the right, located behind the ear, there's a power button that doubles as a volume up button, and a separate button to lower the volume. Further down, you'll see connectors for the magnetic induction cable, which will fully charge the battery in 1.5 hours. And speaking of batteries, the Mini has an 8-hour runtime when fully charged, and those batteries are fully encased, making the headphones IP67 waterproof, which basically means they'll work fine in the rain or if you happen to sweat a lot like me. However, they're not meant to be submerged, so I wouldn't take them swimming. To connect the headsets, the Mini is equipped with Bluetooth 5.1, which means it'll work up to a distance of 33 feet. And while the Mini is only offered in 2 color options, it's worth noting that the standard version comes in 4 colors. Both are back with a 2-year warranty should anything happen. And finally, included in the packaging was a carrying bag and a sports headband, which I thought was a nice added touch. So those are the specs, but before I jump into my likes, I wanted to answer one glaring question, and that is bone conduction really a thing? I know when I first heard about this technology years ago, I thought it was ridiculous. I mean, they're just headsets that you stick on the side of your head, right? Well, if the lack of visible speakers wasn't evidence enough, I figured out a way to prove that this technology actually works. You'll notice I placed a regular acoustic guitar on a stand with no pickups or anything to amplify the sound. Using standard earbuds, if I play a song and place them on the body of the guitar, you hear nothing. But listen to what happens when I play that same song at the same volume with the OpenRun bone conduction headphones. The difference is night and day. I was actually astonished at how well the experiment worked. Okay, so let's get into what I love about the OpenRun Mini. I am a complete fan of the new Bluetooth capable design. Coming from the older Sports Titanium model, which I had for years, this wireless version is hassle-free and it's comfortable to wear. Not having to worry about clipping a wire to my jersey and running it down my back to an MP3 player is such a freeing experience. Now that it's running off the Bluetooth on my phone, I can create playlists and even answer calls during my activities, which is a pretty handy feature. Hey Derek, yeah, I'm on a ride. I'll call you back, all right. And while I can't tell you how this will do long term since I've only had it for 5 months, I can tell you it's performed well in all conditions. There's even a moisture detection alert that will protect the device if you try and charge it when it's wet, which is nice because I run all year long, rain or shine. I should also note the sweat and rain hasn't compromised the audio and the quality remains excellent. And speaking of quality, the sound is absolutely crisp with plenty of range. The bass and treble don't distort, giving you a rich and full audio experience. Now, are they as good as your typical noise-canceling headphones? Of course not. But that's not why you purchased these. These are meant to sit on the outside of your ear, allowing you to hear the environment around you. Having said that, they certainly outperform my old Sports Titaniums with ease. The flexible band and notches sit comfortably around the ear, and the lightweight makes it easy to wear for long periods of time. The thin construction also allows you to wear road and mountain bike helmets without getting in the way. I also appreciate the audio prompt when you power up the device, giving you a general status of your battery life.
Welcome to Shokz, battery medium.
And while 8 hours might not be enough for some of you, it's been plenty for me since most of my solo workouts are between 1 and 2 hours. But as cool as these headphones are, there are some downsides, and since we were just talking about it, let's talk about battery life. At 8 hours, this obviously won't work for endurance races and ultra runners. And unfortunately, they can't be used while charging, so attaching an external battery won't work. Another downer that might be apparent but still worth pointing out are these headphones didn't fit under my mountain bike full face helmet or my motorcycle helmet. It's not a deal killer for me because I don't listen to music in either one of those circumstances, but it's something that you should be aware of. And while it's cool that they included a multifunctional button on the earpiece, it doesn't work well for advancing or going back tracks on your playlist. To advance the song, you click it twice, and to go back one song, you click it 3 times. The issue is you have to click it rapidly to do so, and I found that hard to do while running and cycling. And just to be clear, I never had an issue pausing the music or answering a call because pushing the button once is no problem. It only becomes an issue when you have to push that button multiple times consecutively. And speaking of answering calls, it's great for taking a quick call while you're out and about, but I wouldn't rely on it for any important meetings. The microphone quality isn't great, and while the noise cancellation is a nice touch, it tends to distort your audio. I captured a sample with my dad, so take a listen and you can be the judge.
Okay, I'm recording here.
Okay. This is my voice at a very low volume. This is my voice at a very low volume. This is my voice if I was talking amongst my friends. This is my voice if I was talking amongst my friends. This is my voice if I was projecting as if I was on a bike or on a run. This is my voice if I was projecting as if I was on a bike or on a run. Finally, this is something that annoyed me personally, but it might not be a factor for others, and that is, I'm forced to carry my phone with me in order to use the headphones. This isn't an issue if I'm carrying a pack, but on my shorter runs where I'm trying to keep my gear to a minimum, it's annoying. Now, I suppose if you have a watch or some other device that can play music via Bluetooth, this won't be an issue, but for me, that means making sure that my pants have pockets big enough to hold my phone. And feeling a big bulky phone around my waist or banging into my thighs wasn't enjoyable. But that's it for my negatives, so let's move on to pricing. The OpenRun Mini and standard versions are currently available for $129, which I think is a completely reasonable price considering what you get. And if you're wondering which option to choose, Shokz has a video on how and where to measure your head to help you decide between the Mini and standard versions. I'll leave a link to their video in the description below. So in conclusion, if you're a runner or a cyclist who loves to work out outdoors while listening to music, these are a must-have. The ability to hear the environment around you is paramount, especially if you have to be on the road. I also think these would be great in race situations, allowing you to hear runners coming up behind you. And because the sound is virtually undetectable unless you're wearing them, you don't have to worry about being a nuisance to other people around you. I'm so impressed with the build quality and the clarity of the audio that I have no problem recommending the OpenRun Mini to anyone interested in bone conduction headphones. I'll leave a link to them in the description below. It won't cost you anything extra to use that link, but it helps me to continue to make these reviews. Well, that does it for this video. If you have any feedback or questions, leave them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and if you want to see more content like this, feel free to subscribe or join. Thanks for watching.
All kinds of soft.
Should have checked that.
No, that was horrible. I did such a bad job.
Alright. We're off to a good start.
No paparazzi, please. In theory, that worked.
Well, I got something on my screen here. Okay. Uh-oh. Things I should have checked before I started hitting record. Well, let's hope that doesn't get in the way there.